stage is being administered by three rulers. A. The planetary sovereign, presently to be advised by a counseling Trinity teacher sun, in all probability the chief of the terminal core of such suns to function on the planet. B. The chief of the planetary core of Phenalators. C. Adam and Eve, who function jointly as the unifiers of the dual leadership of the Prince Sovereign and the Chief of Phenalators. Acting as interpreters for the Seraphic Guardians and the Phenalators are the exalted and liberated Midway creatures. One of the last acts of the Trinity Teacher Sons on their terminal mission is to liberate the Midwayers of the realm and to promote or restore them to advanced planetary status, assigning them to responsible places in the new administration of the settled sphere. Such changes have already been made in the range of human vision as enable mortals to recognize these heretofore invisible cousins of the early Adamic regime. This is made possible by the final discoveries of physical science in liaison with the enlarged planetary functions of the master physical controllers. The system sovereign has authority to release Midway creatures any time after the first settled stage, so that they may humanize in the Morontia by the aid of the life carriers and the physical controllers, and, after receiving thought adjusters, start out on their paradise ascension. In the third and subsequent stages, some of the Midwayers are still functioning, chiefly as contact personalities for the Phenalators. But as each stage of light and life is entered, new orders of liaison ministers largely replace the Midwayers. Very few of them ever remain beyond the fourth stage of light. The seventh stage will witness the coming of the first Absonite ministers from paradise to serve in the places of certain universe creatures. 2. The second stage of light and life. This epoch is signalized on the worlds by the arrival of a life carrier who becomes the volunteer advisor of the planetary rulers regarding the further efforts to purify and stabilize the mortal race. Thus do the life carriers actively participate in the further evolution of the human race, physically, socially, and economically. And then they extend their supervision to the further purification of the mortal stock by the drastic elimination of the retarded and persisting remnants of inferior potential of an intellectual, philosophic, cosmic, and spiritual nature. Those who design and plant life on an inhabited world are fully competent to advise the material sons and daughters who have full and unquestioned authority to purge the evolving race of all detrimental influences. From the second stage on throughout the career of a settled planet, the teacher sons serve as counselors to the Phenalators. During such missions, they serve as volunteers and not by assignment, and they serve exclusively with the Phenalator Corps, except that, upon the consent of the system sovereign, they may be had as advisors to the planetary Adam and Eve. 3. The third stage of light and life. During this epoch, the inhabited worlds arrive at a new appreciation of the Ancients of Days, the second phase of God the Sevenfold, and the representatives of these super-universe rulers enter into new relationships with the planetary administration. In each succeeding age of settled existence, the Phenalators function in ever-increasing capacities. There exists a close working connection between the Phenalators, the evening stars, the super-angels, and the Trinity teacher sons. During this or the following age, a teacher sun, assisted by the ministering spirit quartet, becomes attached to the elective mortal chief executive, who now becomes associated with the planetary sovereign as joint administrator of world affairs. These mortal chief executives serve for 25 years of planetary time, and it is this new development that makes it easy for the planetary Adam and Eve to secure release from their world of long-time assignment during the following ages. The ministering spirit quartet consists of the seraphic chief of the sphere, the super-universe Sekhiraphic counselor, the archangel of translations, and the Omniaphim, who functions as the personal representative of the assigned sentinel stationed on the system headquarters. But these advisors never proffer counsel unless it is asked for. 4. The fourth stage of light and life. On the worlds, the Trinity teacher sons appear in new roles. Assisted by the creature trinitized sons, so long associated with their order, they now come to the worlds as volunteer counselors and advisors to the planetary sovereign and his associates. Such couples, Paradise Havona trinitized sons and Ascender trinitized sons, represent differing universe viewpoints and diverse personal experiences which are highly serviceable to the planetary rulers. At any time after this age, the planetary Adam and Eve can petition the sovereign Creator Sun for release from planetary duties in order to begin their paradise ascent, or they can remain on the planet as directors of the newly appearing order of increasingly spiritual society, composed of advanced mortals striving to comprehend the philosophic teachings of the Fenalators portrayed by the brilliant evening stars, who are now assigned to these worlds to collaborate in pairs with the Sekanophim from the headquarters of the super-universe. The Fenalators are chiefly engaged in initiating the new and supermaterial activities of society, social, cultural, philosophic, cosmic, and spiritual. As far as we can discern, they will continue this ministry far into the seventh epoch of evolutionary stability, when, possibly, they may go forth to minister in outer space, whereupon we conjecture their places may be taken by Absonite beings from paradise. 5. The fifth stage of light and life. The readjustments of this stage of settled existence pertain almost entirely to the physical domains and are of primary concern to the master physical controllers. 6. The sixth stage of light and life witnesses the development of new functions of the mind circuits of the realm. Cosmic wisdom seems to become constitutive in the universe ministry of mind. 7. The seventh stage of light and life. Early in the seventh epoch, the Trinity Teacher-Counselor of the Planetary Sovereign is joined by a volunteer advisor sent by the Ancients of Days, and later on they will be augmented by a third counselor coming from the super-universe Supreme Executive. During this epoch, if not before, Adam and Eve are always relieved of planetary duties. If there is a material son in the Fenalator Corps, he may become associated with the mortal chief executive, and sometimes it is a Melchizedek who volunteers to function in this capacity. If a Midwayer is among the Fenalators, all of that order remaining on the planet are immediately released. Upon obtaining release from their age-long assignment, a planetary Adam and Eve may select careers as follows. 1. They can secure planetary release, and from the universe headquarters start out immediately on the Paradise career, receiving thought adjusters at the conclusion of the Morontia experience. 2. Very often a planetary Adam and Eve will receive adjusters while yet serving on a world settled in light, concomitant with the receiving of adjusters by some of their imported pure-line children who have volunteered for a term of planetary service. Subsequently, they may all go to universe headquarters and there begin the Paradise career. 3. A planetary Adam and Eve may elect, as do material sons and daughters from the system capital, to go direct to the Midsonite world for a brief sojourn, there to receive their adjusters. 4. They may decide to return to the system headquarters, there for a time to occupy seats on the Supreme Court, after which service they will receive adjusters and begin the Paradise ascent. 5. They may choose to go from their administrative duties back to their native world to serve as teachers for a season and to become adjuster indwelt at the time of transfer to the universe headquarters. Throughout all of these epochs, the imported assisting material sons and daughters exert a tremendous influence on the progressing social and economic orders. They are potentially immortal, at least until such time as they elect to humanize, receive adjusters, and start for paradise. On the evolutionary worlds, a being must humanize to receive a thought adjuster. All ascendant members of the mortal corps of Fenalators have been adjuster indwelt and fused except Seraphim, and they are father indwelt by another type of spirit at the time of being mustered into this corps. 5. The acme of material development. Mortal creatures living on a sin-stricken, evil-dominated, self-seeking, isolated world such as Urantia can hardly conceive of the physical perfection, the intellectual attainment, and the spiritual development which characterize these advanced epochs of evolution on a sinless sphere. The advanced stages of a world settled in light and life represent the acme of evolutionary material development. On these cultured worlds, gone are the idleness and friction of the earlier primitive ages. Poverty and social inequality have all but vanished, degeneracy has disappeared, and delinquency is rarely observed. Insanity has practically ceased to exist, and feeble-mindedness is a rarity.